What's going on, Falcon fans? This boy Ricardo coming back at you with another video. Today we're going to talk about the keys to victory for our Atlanta Falcons. We're going to do a quick rundown today. We're going to talk about a roster move that was made yesterday. It's a 53-man roster. You know, the Falcons always adding guys in, taking guys off. We know that. Talk about the injury report for both teams, of course. Get into see who's going to be in, who's going to be out for the game for Sunday up in Tennessee. We're going to talk about the trade deadline. It's coming up here October 31st. What could the Falcons potentially could do? You know, somebody that they could definitely consider. You know, trying to make this playoff run here this season. Currently sit in first place in the NFC South, but there's a lot of more football left, so definitely not going to get ahead of ourselves from that. And then, of course, we're going to get into the keys to victory for this week: offense, defense, and the special teams. Arthur Smith homecoming is coming up, so it's going to be probably emotional for him a little bit. Guy who been with the franchise for over 10 seasons, so definitely got some ties. He's from Memphis, Tennessee, so definitely should have a big crowd there. Support both of these. Coaching staff have a lot of familiarity with each other as well. Guys that played there, coached there, so this is going to be a really interesting game, and it's going to be a physical game. Believe when I tell you, guys, this is going to be a physical game. Don't expect the Atlanta Falcons to come in and just go away with a team that's kind of struggling right now. This team is coming off a bye. Atlanta Falcons always get unlucky playing teams that coming off a bye, trying to get back on the winning track. Once again, we do not want to be that get right team. So this is going to be a big week for the Atlanta Falcons. But guys, with that being said, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to this channel. Please hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys out here I talk about. And please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about. That's right, guys. These Atlanta Falcons. So let's get on to it real quick. We're going to get into the roster moves for our Atlanta Falcons. EQ, I got you. We're definitely going to talk some trade talks. You talked about Clark, the linebacker out of New York. Might be a guy. Yep. You talk about Bud Dupree too. Definitely going to talk about some guys that could come in. That Atlanta Falcons can fortify that pass rush. And we'll talk about the trade deadline when we get to that. But the first thing we're definitely going to talk about today is a roster move that Atlanta Falcons reported yesterday. Lakel London, guy that was actually brought in, from the XFL. So once again, just showing that, so many ways that a guy can get back into NFL. A guy that played in NFL before, but it was out, had an opportunity to go out and show his talents in the XFL, another professional league, football league that some guys can go in that want to kind of, return back to the NFL, can go out and show their talents and get an opportunity. Atlanta Falcons gave a lot of guys from the XFL opportunities this offseason, and Lakel London took advantage of his. He was a guy that was elevated 2 weeks in a row, week 6 and week 7, and he actually, earned a roster spot here. And he had 3 tackles, fumble recovery during those 2 weeks. So you gotta like the things that Lakel London was able to show to make him, first of all, get elevated 2 weeks in a row from the practice squad, but then actually be signed to a roster spot. Arthur Smith mentioned today that don't matter how you get here, as long as you get here, that's is what you can definitely see. And so congratulations, Lakel London. However, when somebody get added to the 53-man roster, somebody's going to be released. Eli Anaku, guys, we brought him in later on this season, so he's been released, and Lakel London been added to that 53-man roster. So now he don't have to be elevated a week. Again, now you know how it works once you get elevated, so many times. The team have to go ahead and make a decision on you. So that's probably what they decided to do with a guy like Lakel London. They had elevated him 2 weeks in a row. He impressed the coaches enough. They had to go ahead and put him on the roster because more than likely he was going to get poached from somebody else or something like that. So that's just the way it goes sometimes. But congratulations, Lakel London. We might see Eli again if he might come back on a practice squad or something like that. But sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So maybe, guys, I'm interested to see what y'all think about Lakel London. Another depth piece We know the Atlanta Falcons rotate their defensive front throughout the game. Sometimes it look kind of light, when our first four go out. But I thought this week those guys kind of held their own. The guys that came in, and it could be contribute to the way Lakel London played. Of course, Taquan Graham was back active this week as well, so he could actually have something to do with that as well. But you like the opportunities that Atlanta Falcons give guys. We have a couple of guys on this team that you like. Guy like D. Alford, just straight out balling out. A guy that came from the college um, Canadian Football League, had this opportunity last year, came in this year, and he's their starting slot corner and actually been straight up balling. So we like the opportunities that the Atlanta Falcons give. And another guy, Nate Lemon, another undrafted guy, led the team in tackles last week. So, tips off to the front office for going out to find these guys. Um, you know, and the Atlanta Falcons for actually getting these opportunity to show what they was able to do, right? So let me know what you think about Lakel London. That the Red Stallion fans, right? We're playing the Tennessee Titans when their fans didn't know who the Falcons were. Can't wait to see the Red Stallion debut. I mean, either I can't wait. Like you said, Nate has impressed me. He has, man. And you know, questions we all like Troy Anderson, but the way Nate Lamon's been playing, they're gonna have to find a spot for him, man. It's just the way it is. That's a good problem to have. You love to see stuff like that. Ikir said he don't know this player. Lakel London, yeah, like I said, he a guy that came from the XFL, but whatever he did, the last 2 weeks he was able to impress. So you got to like what he did. He did have that that fumble recovery. Nate Lemon actually, caused the fumble in the game against the Bucks, and Lakel London was the one who recovered that fumble. So, like I said, just in the right spot, right time. He had a big tackle for a loss as well in that game. I don't know if you recall, but Lakel London did impress the coaches enough to get him a roster spot. All right. Let's go ahead and go into the injury report, which is pretty light. It's not a lot to report here. Well, I for the Titans, it definitely is, but for the Atlanta Falcons, 3 guys was out today. Tay Davis, concussion protocol. We know that he's one of our linebackers as well. Really heavily on special teams. Of course, he has to be cleared in the concussion protocol before he can actually get back on the field. So he was out today. Another 2 guys that was out, more than likely was a rest day for both of them. Cordell Patterson, rest day, and Calais Campbell. Both of those guys a little older in the tooth on the team, probably taking their rest day. Of course, CP had a big workload last week, probably the biggest workload he had all season. So just taking that rest day off, and Calais Campbell getting his normal Wednesday rest day. So both of those guys not serious at all. Did not participate in practice today, but no concerns there. Just Tay Davis. Hopefully he get back from that concussion protocol and get back on the field. For the Tennessee Titans, I think the biggest report out there for them is their starting quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, actually had a high ankle sprain the week prior to the bye week for them. He has not practiced. He was not out there Monday. He was not out there again today. More than likely, he will not go. So it's going to be probably, it's been reported that Will Levis will probably get his first snaps up under center as a starting quarterback in the NFL. And he's going up against our Red Stallions, the Atlanta Falcons. So it's going to be interesting to see how, Will Levis come out. What kind of jitters is he going to have his first game, of his career coming out playing against a pretty good defense, top 10 defense this year. Of course, the coach also mentioned that we might see Malik Willis as well. So both of those guys might have opportunity to play. Could just be, making us prepare for all quarterbacks. But it has been reported that Will Levis is going to get the start. Not sure how much Malik Willis is going to play, but we'll see how this pans out. This could be where the Tennessee starting to start, to really start to look and see if they're gonna see what they got in their young quarterbacks before for next season. Um, we're definitely talking about trade of one of their captains, and Kevin Byard, one of their long standing guys that really meant a lot to that franchise, and they actually traded him away. So this could be, just something that we need to take a look at for this season. Will Levis might just be the guy moving forward. However, Ryan Tannehill is still their starter, but look like he will not be playing this week. So what's good, Anthony? Like he says, yeah, big 72, Lakel London. Yeah, big guy, defensive tackle. Uh, so guys, that's and then the other guy that was on injury report with their tight end Josh Wild, another guy that did not participate in practice today. So, like I said, the Titans are coming in pretty fresh, as well as the Atlanta Falcons. However, they had an extra bye week. They had 2 weeks to prepare for us, so it's going to be, like I said, a tough game for these Atlanta Falcons, the Red Stallions, coming to Tennessee, trying to see can they get this thing done this week. Glad we win Sunday, first division, and on to Nashville, right? That's we got to look at, man. We got 1 week at a time. Don't take no team lightly, though. We got to get this away game in Nashville, 100%. Definitely got to try to stack this momentum, man. We got to win. We don't want to squander that first place, even though I think we will still be in first place if we lose, but don't even want to put that smoke out there. So I don't even know why I said it. So, but you're right. We got to get this win. All right, guys. Let's talk about a topic that is approaching us really fast here. Within the next week or so, next 6 days now. Looking at it, and that's the trade deadline. Now, the Atlanta Falcons do have calorie space out there. If you guys recall, a while back here now, they restructured Jake Matthews' um, deal and actually freed up more cap space. So, if I'm not mistaken, you guys can correct me, but according to over the cap, about 16-17 million dollars is still out there for the Atlanta Falcons to actually go out and make a trade, to bring somebody in to that cap space. And then, of course, whoever they bring in probably gonna have to, get a long-term deal, because if you trade for somebody, it's somebody that you want to see, and hopefully, unless you trade like a 6th-round pick or something like that, giving those guys a 1-year rental to see what they're all about before, but if you anything above a third, a 4th round or higher is somebody you probably thinking about keeping, long term if you're going to make a trade for those guys. But let's just talk about some of the guys that what's going on, Wallace. Let's talk about some of the guys that Atlanta Falcons could definitely could consider teams that might be selling right now. Of course, it was a guy that was out there, Danielle Hunter, one of the guys that everybody been talking about, even myself, the Atlanta Falcons. But Minnesota had a big win on Monday night, so maybe they might start to rethink about their decision to trade Danielle Hunter. He was the sack leader right now in NFL, but definitely somebody they consider. They have not gave him a long-term contract, so this is something that Atlanta Falcons want to get a bona fide pass rusher in. A guy like Danielle Hunter could definitely be that guy from Minnesota. However, I don't know how much the Minnesota Vikings are selling right now. It was word out that they were listening to offers for Danielle Hunter, but maybe the price, the asking price was just too much. So that's something they probably with a team like they're not going to consider that. They just wait till unless they have to franchise tag him or he go on free agency next year. So we'll just have to see. But the trade line is Tuesday, the 31st of October. So we'll just have to see what the Atlanta Falcons, if they make a decision on a guy like Danielle Hunter. Couple more teams that we definitely could look at. The Broncos could be selling team. Probably have nobody that we really would want, but some guys that could be on the trading block for them: Jerry Jeudy, Justin Simmons. The ultra talented safety slash linebacker that they have. The New England Patriots, Josh Uche, guy that had 11.5 sacks last year for the New England Patriots, a guy that we definitely consider. Kyle Duggar is another guy that they might have on a trading block. But for me, if the Atlanta Falcons really want to go out and make a splash, I think they should look towards the Carolina Panthers, a guy like Brian Burns. Definitely somebody can come in. You guys remember the first game of the season, Brian Burns tried to wreck the game by himself. So Brian Burns is definitely somebody that we definitely they could consider from the Carolina Panthers. Frankie Louisville is another guy, their linebacker. Never could have enough depth in the linebacker room, even though we like the way Caden Ellis and Nate Lemon, and of course, Troy Anderson is there. But bringing another guy in for that. But that would be one of my first, things. It would be interesting to see if they willing to trade somebody in the division, though. And then the two guys on the Washington Commanders, because I can see the Washington Commanders probably going to, they continue down the road that they're going this season with a new ownership that's in there. They probably want to make a lot of changes, so they might want to sell as well. A guy like Montez Sweat and Chase Young both have not been offered new contracts, so both of those guys could be out. I'm anticipating them to lose at least one of those guys. I don't think they're going to sign both of them, so we just have to pick which one we would definitely want to trade for and see. Um, since Young's injury history, maybe I'd probably go with Montez Sweat more than Young, but either one of those guys, at the bottom line, guys, we need a pass rusher, right? I know that EQ mentioned um, a guy like Bud Dupree has not lived up to the hype. One thing I say about Bud Dupree, he is setting that edge for the run game. That's why run defense has been so good. But to your point, being able to get out the passer, he has not really shown a lot in that aspect this year. So, but that's what we need, right? We like the way our defense been playing. I think it's in top 5 defense right now. But the truth is, the matter is, at this point, we have just not been able to um, put enough pressure on the quarterback with a bona fide pass rusher. Yes, our sack totals have started to go up. We're sitting at 13. We were sitting at 5 for a minute. We had 5 the week prior. We had 3 last weekend. So the numbers starting to go up. You like that? Still, looking out for that 40 sack season for the Atlanta Falcons. But if we can get a bona fide pass rusher, I think that'll definitely help us out. So definitely, I think one guy that EQ mentioned early up here. Let's see, Clark out of New York. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about him. I'm not for too much familiar with his game, but if he's a bona fide pass rusher, somebody can come in and start to initiate the pass rush for us. We definitely need somebody. Um, Sacks are starting to pick up. Armor Ebiketie, he's flashing, but he's just not getting to the passer. So he might just need to be that secondary guy. But the Atlanta Falcons have yet to find a good bona fide pass rusher since a guy like John Abraham. So yes, that 1 year with Vic Beasley was nice, but a consistent guy that can come off the edge to put fear into quarterbacks and offensive linemen. That's what we're looking for. So hopefully the Falcons decide to make a trade. If they do not, hopefully off season we do have a lot of money off season as well to be able to do some things. So we'll definitely see if the Atlanta Falcons decide to make any trades moving towards this trade deadline. We don't expect nothing, prior to this game at Sunday. They preparing for the game, but look out Monday, and before the trade line ends on Tuesday to see if they pull the trigger on anybody. Let's see here. Go through this right here. We got a win. We talked about that. I think they got a plan. I think they got a plan when they did that. Yes, I thought they had a plan as well when they freed up that money for Jake. Yeah, we're going to find out what it's all about. They do got a couple guys they got to pay. They got to pay AJ Terrell, so that could be clearing up some cap space for that. We'll just have to see. Say Terry cooking up something. I hope so. Let's see. What about Chase Young? I've seen some articles on that. Yes, Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Like I said, Chase has been injured a lot, but either one of those guys, man, could come in, and I wouldn't be mad about it. Depending on the asking price for both of those guys. Um, Brian Burns would be on fire. Yes, yes, but the question is, would they trade within the division? Some teams do not like to do that, and they fan base probably would hate them for that if they was to trade Brian Burns to the Atlanta Falcons. Eric Clark is good. Look at his numbers, 2022. He got drafted the D lineman and really showed out and started. There you go. Like I said, if they can pull that trigger on him, somebody that's going to come out and dominate, man, that's what we need. No matter what it is, somebody can come out and dominate and trade deadline. That's what we want. We need to get a pass rusher. I love the way our defense is playing, but just imagine if we had somebody that they fear, because the way our defensive front playing, Yada, Grady Jarrett, Calais Campbell, the way they're putting pressure up the middle, we had somebody on the outside that they just had to worry about a lot. Man, just imagine what this defense could do. So that's where my head is at with that. I don't think they're going to get Hunter, but Chase Young could be a good move because he's younger. He was drafted by our assistant. Oh, you know what? See, you Wallace, you're starting to put yes, because he did his homework. That's 100% correct. So you got me thinking more and more about a guy like Chase Young, right? Bring him in because, like I said, the way our defensive front playing, a guy like Chase Young could just eat, man, because they're gonna have to, concentrate on that front line, and a guy like Chase coming in, go ahead and pull the trigger, man. Come on, let's make a deal. And Kyle Smith, you're right that he was part of that draft for Chase Young, so he has the insight on him. He know his character. Um, that's what they always talking about, the kind of player, the drive guys got. And we know Chase Young was supposed to be the next big thing. Like I said, if he stays healthy, he has opportunity. He's still young, like you guys mentioned. So there you go. Because I don't believe they would go out and get a guy like Burns, because I don't think the Panthers are trade to the Falcons. But Young and Sweat is definitely somebody they definitely could consider. He said the Panthers are 0-6. They can't complain too much. I know, man. The Panthers. This is what the Panthers did, right? And this is what I love about sometimes when you gamble in football. This would make football so interesting, because the Panthers gave away, their number one wide receiver. They gave away their first round pick, and now they're 0-6, right? So they gave away their draft capital, but don't have a bona fide receiver for the number one overall pick, and their quarterback who's struggling right now. Um, so definitely they should be thinking about selling. We know that Frank Reich decided to give up the offensive play calling. You know, see can that help out or something like that. He can concentrate more on the entire team or something like that. I don't know, but um, right now, doesn't matter how many games they lose. Right? They could be. It's not like they're in the hunt to get a high draft pick because they gave away their pick. So there definitely could be in the selling mode right now to try to, get back some of those draft picks that they lost. But right now, it looks like Chicago Bears could have the number one and number two pick in the draft, and you know Panthers, because the Panthers, they're going to get the Panthers pick and then their own pick, and they can get a guy like Chase Young. I mean, like Caleb Williams, and they go get Myra Harrison Jr. Just imagine that. And because what would a guy like Bryce Young do with a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr., right? If they had their draft pick, they could get a guy like that. and bring him in, and they'll have maybe their number one receiver. Now they're going to be, trying to figure out what they're going to do with that position. So getting draft capital probably is important for the Carolina Panthers. Other teams like the Denver Broncos, who sold the farm for both their coach and their quarterback, they're going to be selling. We know they're going to be selling, but sometimes making those big splash trades don't work out. It worked for the Los Angeles Rams. They was able to go out and stack their teams, get way out of their draft capital, and then they turned into a Super Bowl. Um, it don't seem like it's going to work for the Carolina Panthers. We know our other foes over there in New Orleans, $87 million over the cap going into next season already, and they paid their quarterback, 2 years, $85 million, who probably not the best quarterback on the team right now. That won't look like it's Jameis Winston. So I just like the way our division is going right now. We got a young team in Atlanta, a lot of cap space. The cap is clean. We got a defense that's young, that can got more potential. Young offense with weapons all over. Quarterback who's trying to figure it out. So I like the direction Atlanta Falcons going, vice the way some of our teams from our other, in the division going. So just want to throw this out there, throw a little hate out there, let you guys think about that. And people say we need to get rid of Ritter. Yeah, exactly. We don't need to get rid of Ritter. I like I said, Ritter is going to play the rest of the season. All right, and despite what people saying about Desmond Ritter, the last 3 games, Desmond Ritter has played pretty well. All right, what he played pretty well. Well, besides the turnovers, of course. All right, I'm not talking about turning the ball over. Of course, those are that kind of take away from what he's been doing overall. But if you think about just not turning over the ball and you look at what he's been doing, this offense has not looked this explosive since Matt Ryan. As a balance as it has been the last 3 weeks. Yes, we won 2 out of 3 in the last 3 weeks, and we could have won. That Commanders game. We don't have all those turnovers. I agree, but Desmond Ritter still played well in that game. Did he don't turn over the ball? We easily win that game. Um, Last week would have been a blowout in Tampa at home with a top 3 defense if we don't turn over the ball. So Desmond Ritter has been playing well. Believe it or not, guys, he has. Yes, the turnovers are big. He got us not turn over the ball. I've been harping about that since this season started. So I'm not going to go away from that. But he needs to don't turn over the ball. But if you go look at how he's been playing, other than that, all right, young quarterback's going to make mistakes. It's going to take growing pains. One reporter asked today, and about why he gets so much scrutiny, right? Gets so much scrutiny, and then you got the number 1 draft pick overall is 0-6, and nobody can tell me that the Panthers defense is not solid. Like they have a bad team. They do not have a bad team, right? But Desmond Ritter gets all the hate and all the discontent, and Bryce Young get a pass, right? But he was drafted number 1 overall. It's the narrative that people create, right? Both are young quarterbacks, both are learning the game, but Desmond Ritter is just the worst of the worst. And he has 4 game-winning drives already this season, most than any quarterback in the league right now. And Bryce Young is 0-6. So you can create narratives, not trying to excuse the way Desmond Ritter has been playing. He has turned over the ball, got to get rid of turnovers. But the narratives that people create about these young guys and how they're not so great, but you have to look at it in this totality and just look at what you see on the field, man. And the he's not the greatest guy, but he's been playing pretty good football, giving the opportunity to win, right? Take away those turnovers, man, and we're right there in every game. So just wanted to throw that out, talk about that before we get into these keys real quick. Wallace says, I don't know about Caleb Williams because he's demanding too much for his services. Yeah, man, I don't know. Somebody need to get in his ear because nobody gonna give you no partial ownership of a franchise if that's true. I heard about that. That's just crazy, man. That's insane. That's insane. Just to sit here and think about that. Um, Atlanta Falcons have a chance to conquer and take over the division for the next 3 to 4 years, possible 5, because the Panthers are on the rebuild. Buccaneers about to rebuild. The Saints won't be. That you know what? Last part you said about the Saints. Yeah, man, they just keep pushing it down the road every year, right? They just don't want to go back into that mode. They just don't want to do it. You're right. They just need to face the facts. That's just pretty much it. Ritter turnovers are fixable, 100%. Definitely, they are fixable. What's going on? What's going on? What that's Ken Folk Reese? What's going on, man? Thanks for coming in and talking with me, man. Let's see here. Uh, his passing's been taken off. He's getting way better. Yes, he has. He's getting more confident, man. I'm telling you. He's starting to see the field, a lot better. His numbers are good, but the mistakes have to stop. Just average. Yes. This is true. He knows that, man. See, this is where the truth comes in. Desmond Ritter know he has to stop making mistakes. It's just that simple. Archie Smith says it. Got to stop the critical mistakes. I mean, the biggest thing for me about the mistakes, they're happening in the red zone and he's taking points off the board. So to me, that's the worst part about it. He has to clean that up. But there was interceptions, in Jacksonville, interceptions and with the Commanders, right? Um, but then you look at in the Tampa game, it was fumbles. Right? Fumbles are easy fixes, right? Interceptions is starting to understand how you read defenses and things like that. And the fumbles just taking care of the ball, securing the ball, and I mean, think about the last fumble he had. He scored the touchdown. The last fumble he had, it was a touchdown. So, I mean, that's really fixable. Either put the ball in your left hand, to protect away from the defender, or tuck it tight so you won't get knocked out. One of the two, but it's just easy fix. And just like I said, just like I expected, he was out there with the running backs today doing ball security drills. Right? It can be fixed. They can be fixed. Um, Ricondo, I tried to tell people Young was going to struggle his first year in the league as a rookie. They didn't want to believe me. Yep. Maybe the Carolina Panthers picked the wrong guy. Maybe CJ Stroud was the right guy because CJ Stroud is balling right now. Maybe he was better. Um, maybe he was better. But you know what? I kind of agree with the Panthers. What we seen from Bryce Young in Alabama, man, he was a straight up baller. I mean, his accuracy was ridiculous. Yes, he's on the smaller side, and a lot of guys came out and said that. Um, but it's just about the game, man. People do not understand how bigger or different, especially for a quarterback. The game is how much faster, how condensed that pocket. Your timing and your reactions all have to speed up in the professional game for quarterbacks, and that's what Bryce Young is learning. I still believe Bryce Young is going to be a pretty good quarterback in this league, but I agree it's going to take time. But you know, unfairly to a guy like Desmond Ritter, Bryce Young was drafted #1 overall. So they're going to give him time, right? They're going to let him play through his struggles and figure it out. Well, but a guy like Desmond Ritter, everybody's already ready to throw him out the door. So that's just the way it is sometimes, and there's nothing we can do about it. No, they took what Caleb said out of context. See, that's what I was thinking. I just think that's too crazy. I'm glad you trying to kind of give me clarification of that, because if that's what he said, that's just stupid. I agree. I don't think that's what he said either. About trying to own a franchise. I'm looking for a clean game for our offense on Sunday. Man, that would be awesome. If we can come away with no turnovers, think about it. We don't had 11 turnovers in 3 games. 11 turnovers in 3 games. And guess what? Eight eight came from our quarterback. So that's bad. That's really bad. So yeah, he knows what he needs to do. So that's 100%. He need to fix that. Um, all rhythm mistake goes back to reps. There you go. See, Kenfolk getting it. It's right, man. More reps you get, the more comfortable he get. Rookie mistakes. People keep forgetting he's a rookie. Yes, he is. He hasn't even played the entire game yet. He's just going into the 12th game of the season. That's what happens to rookies. It's going to happen. Ken folks said, Derek 330 said, I noticed Ritter's telling the players where he wanted them to line up after he saw the defense on Sunday. Yes, he's starting to get it, man. He's starting to get it. I don't know if you've seen the clip today. He's talking about, getting the receivers in the backs in, and they're talking about, the route placement and things like that, what they see on the field, how to get open. You love to see it from it, just once again showing the leadership traits that he have to get his guys in, to talk about it and discuss things, get better. You see the chemistry with Kyle Pitts starting to pick up. You see the chemistry with Drake London starting to pick up. That was a beautiful ball he threw to Skylar Miller. Last week, deep pass. So it's just starting to round up to the places, right? We're starting to see it more. This is his second year in his offense. The more he get this offense, the better he's going to be. It's just that's just the way it's going to be. Um, I noticed Riddle. Yep, this we talked about that. Relax, Ritter's about to go on a run. I hope so, man. I hope so. The kid is confident. That's what I like about it. And dare I say it, like believe it or not, man, like I said, 4 game winning drives in his career already. It's just well in this season already. Um he maybe he just like to make it hard on himself where he can make a big play at the end. I don't know. In college, your team has 3 or 4 good players to play against, but in the NFL, everybody's good. See, this is this is why I thought CJ Stroud was gonna struggle for that statement that EQ just said, because Big Ten don't play anybody, man. All these guys wide open, and but CJ Stroud seems to get it, right? Um he doesn't turn over the ball, and you see what happens when you don't turn over the ball, right? You can live with other things from a young quarterback. Turn over the ball is the killer for young quarterbacks, right? CJ Stroud has 1 interception this entire season, right? You can live with that. That's the whole thing for Desmond Ritter. Turn over the ball makes the game harder for you. That's what it really do. So not turn over the ball is the key. It's the key. It's definitely the key. Desmond Ritter cut down on his turnovers. I'm telling you, I agree with Kinfolk. We can go on a run. The way this defense playing, we can have a clean game from an offense, like 330 said. We can actually go on a run. That's 100% a fact, man. It's just no doubt. I believe in this team that much from what I've seen for the last 7 games. The way the defense been playing, the offensive weapons that we have, the way we've been moving the ball. If we play a clean game, no turnovers. Like I said, 11 turnovers in the last 3 games, and we 2-1 in those games. So we have an opportunity to really be special if we just start to clean up the turnovers. That's 100% a fact. Desmond Ritter knows this. It's all on him. The Texans game, he did not turn over the ball in Texas game. Those 2 fumbles was on Janu and it was on Bijan, right? We do remember that, but we was able to pull away. We was able to get the win in that game. 2 turnovers. So believe it or not, guys, in the 2 wins we had in this 3-game stretch, we're negative in turnovers, and we still won. That just tell you that this team has something that they can build on, right? Clean game from the offensive side of the ball. Defense continue to be solid the way it's been this season. we can actually have opportunity to go. That's where we need to see it. All right, let's get into my keys real quick. Definitely like talk about the trade deadline. Definitely like talking about our young quarterback things he definitely needs to work on. But for this game in particular, um, I came in on today talking about how physical this game is going to be, and it's going to be physical, guys. I'm just telling you that now. Mike Vrabel, he's from that Bill Belichick tree. Arthur Smith knows him well. It's going to be a physical game. I don't understand why the Atlanta Falcons always got to play teams coming off buys, but we always do. It's like they do this to us on purpose, playing teams coming off buys all the time. But whatever, it's going to be a physical game, so we have to understand that going into this game, that it's going to be physical, no matter what the Tennessee Titans going through. Yes, they're traded away. That they captains on their team, one of their captains, Kevin Byard, look like they're, you know, starting to go down the road or playing their young quarterback. But believe me when I tell you this, they're not laying down for the Atlanta Falcons. They come in, they trying to get a win. It's going to be a physical game. And Arthur Smith is going to have his guys ready. But for my offensive keys, real quick, we're going to go through this today. Offensive keys for the Atlanta Falcons. Um, since the physicality is going to be there on the offensive line, we want to establish the line of scrimmage early. We want to run the ball. We want to show them that we are a better running team than them, right? We know they're going to run Derrick Henry, but we want to run that ball. We want to make sure we get it. Bijan be back. We like the physicality that CP and Tyler ran with against Tampa, the number 3 overall defense, mind you, in their house. But we want to establish that line of scrimmage. I love the pockets, the passing lanes that Desmond Ritter had from the offensive line. The offensive line was much maligned the first 3 games, right? They looked at bad, but it seemed like they starting to get their rhythm. They're starting to play in unison, and we're starting to like what we see from offensive line. So establishing that line of scrimmage is going to be key for our offense this week. That's what we got to do. Number 2, no secret. We know what it is. 3 Dirty talked about it. We have to keep a clean pocket. Clean game this week. No turnovers. Let's finally have a game, you know, in the last 3 games where we don't turn over the ball. So let's try to have a clean game. That's what we want to do. No turnovers this game. I think that would definitely be key on the road. Always got to be key on the road, not to turn over the ball. And then the last thing on offense this week is red zone. We need to score touchdowns, right? If we score touchdowns in that Tampa game, we don't have no stress. It's a blowout. I'll be sitting at the game happy, sitting back at Tampa this weekend, but I'm stressed the whole game because we keep turning the ball over. So turnovers is a killer. Red zone is the answer. We need to be better in the red zone. And it's not because we can't execute in the red zone, because we keep shooting ourselves in the foot in the red zone. So red zone is going to be the key. That's what we need to have. So 3 keys on offense: establish that line of scrimmage, no turnovers, no turnovers. Let's have a clean game, and let's put points on the board in the red zone. We do that on the offensive side of the ball, no doubt. I think we're going to be able to go out on high, and we can sit back and enjoy the rest of the game. We can root for the Indianapolis Colts, right? Because they play in the New Orleans Aints. We can root for well, we already know the outcome of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they play tomorrow night against the Buffalo Bills, which we hope they take that L. So you like to see that. But we can sit back and relax, man. That's what we want. Let's do this on offense this week. All right. Those are my offensive keys. I'm on a decent defensive side of the ball for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to stay with the physicality. Our defensive line, we know it's no secret. It's no secret, especially starting a young quarterback. Will Levis is reported to start for the Tennessee Titans this week. So we know, without a shadow of a doubt, the Tennessee Titans game plan is to run the ball. Right? It's no secret. It's no secret what they want to do. They got King Henry, right? They got a nice change of pace back. that they drafted. So we know 100% that they're going to run that rock, especially with a young quarterback. It's no secret there. So we got to make sure our line of scrimmage is dominant like it has been. Like I'm not asking this defense to do something it has not been doing the last 7 weeks, right? Just continue to do this, but do it for the whole game. Derrick Henry gets better as the game go out. He go through. He started to wear guys down, so we need to make sure we are good the whole game from the line of scrimmage standpoint. Make the young quarterback beat us with his arm. That's what we want to do, right? It's Will Levis, Malik Willis, whoever's out there. We need to make the young quarterback beat us. All right. Number two, speaking of the young quarterback, like I said, if it's Malik Willis or if it's Will Levis, whoever they put out there, we do not want any of those guys to get confident, right? Make them uncomfortable, right? If it's Will Levis, this is his first NFL start, right? No confidence allowed, right? We want to make him stress out his first start. He already gonna have jitters. He's already going to be, you know, adrenaline all over the place, right? We want him to be uncomfortable and no confidence given, right? Right from the start, right? So that's what we want. That's definitely my second key. Make the young quarterback beat us and make him uncomfortable all day long. Um, this is one of the games, in my opinion, where when Ryan Nielsen decided to play more coverage and less rush on the young quarterback. I know that sounds crazy, but trust me, young quarterbacks gets antsy when they don't have anywhere to throw the ball, right? And they make mistakes. So it's because we still have guys, if we rush, just say if we rush 3 and drop 7, drop 8, right? He's going to get antsy. Believe me when I tell you, he will. So, mix it up, do things like that. You want to make the quarterback uncomfortable. And then the biggest thing on defense for me is no explosive plays. Right. I think if we make these guys drive down the field, make them go a long haul, you're liable to get some mistakes from these young guys, young quarterbacks. So no explosive plays, don't give explosive plays. Don't let things like happen in Detroit and with the Jacksonville. We have busted coverages and they get easy touchdowns. We haven't seen that in the last couple of weeks. Of course, we did see a big play on Sunday against AJ, with Mike Evans, but that's not what we want to see. We don't want to see things like that happen. So please, let's clean that up and no explosive plays. Defense side of the ball, establish that line of scrimmage for the whole game. Whole game. Second, don't let the quarterback get comfortable. No confidence for the young guy. Make him have a nightmares about his first start. And then that last, explosive plays, make them drive the field. They beat us, they're gonna beat us the long, hard way. So that's what it is on the defensive side of the ball, guys. And last but not least, special teams. I just got one key for special teams this week because I believe it's going to be a physical game. I believe that both defenses going to play well. I believe it or not, I believe the Tennessee Titans defense is going to bring it. Those guys physical. Mike Vrabel, they take on his personality, so I think they're going to be physical guys. They're home, coming off a bye, they're going to be fresh. So my biggest thing on special teams is field position. Field position. We need to make sure we control field position. If we go 3 and out, nothing wrong with going 3 and out, punting the ball, put them deep, things like that. So that's what I want to see from a special team standpoint. This week is simple for me. Just establish the field position all game. We get short fields. Let's do that. Whatever we need to do, let's see, can we take advantage of that if we do get short fields. So guys, that's what I have on my keys to victory. Let's go through it here, see what a lot of people are saying here. The defense is getting better now. Sacks coming, easily 5. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I agree with you 100%, man. That defense, the Atlanta Falcons knew what they was doing this year. They and this, man, it was tell you how strategic it was, right? All their offensive talent is draft capital. That's what it was. All their offensive talent is from the draft, right? And all their defense is from free agency. Veteran guys, established guys, right? You love it because now you have a defense that can win games for you while your explosive young offensive weapons are getting better, right? And to me, that's just the way to build this team, right? I love it. So good point about our defense getting better. Um, Next few games are winnable. We should be on a winning streak for our bye week. I hope so, man. Yes. Even though the way the way Minnesota looked on Monday night, man, it kind of worried me a little bit. Even though we don't have to worry about Justin Jefferson, but I just don't see Addison going off on our secondary like that. So I'm not too concerned, but um, I was impressed by the way Minnesota played. Wallace Smith facts. I really hope we're gonna win them. Yes, that's 100% true. Um, we got to score in the red zone. That's one of my keys this week, man. Got to score in the red zone. Um, I say put CP in the fullback and give defense a new look and confuse them. This is one of the things that a lot of people talking about. What if they put all three backs on the field at one time? How would that look? Whew, that's scary, man. Who getting the ball? They all dynamic. Two of those guys are dynamic out the backfield, CP and Bijan, right? Um, I don't see nothing wrong with doing something like that. Maybe Arthur Smith does have something like this up his sleeve. We'll just have to see. Um, Going to center more. Yep, this is like a lost art going on the center, man. Like these new offense in college, all these guys be catching the ball out of the shotgun. They don't play that under the center, right? Because I believe it or not, it's harder to figure out what's going on under the center, right? You don't know if they're gonna run the ball with the play action, they're gonna pass it. So this is a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. Um, how does the possibility of Tannehill not playing affect the defense preparation? Well, they just mentioned they're preparing for all three quarterbacks, but you play the scheme more than anything. You do have to be, weary about a guy like Malik Willis, being able to get out of pocket because if if all that fails, we know that's what he's going to try to do. So you just have to play your keys right on defense. That's mean containment, things like that, scramble drills and things like that. Because some of these guys try to keep plays extended longer when they be mobile like that. So it would to me it's just your fundamentals, playing your gaps and being sound on defense and the fundamentally the way your defense designed to play. That's what you want to be really trying to focus on. But they are getting prepared for all three quarterbacks. Guy like Ryan Tannehill plays. We know veteran guy that been in the league a while, know how to read defenses. It'd be a little harder, to get ready for him. But for these young quarterbacks, they're going to make the game simple. They're going to rely on their running game more, and then try to have timely throws with their young quarterbacks. That's the way I look at it. That's what I think is going to happen. Um, no turnovers, Ritter. That's my second key on offense. No turnovers, not just Ritter, the entire team, because um, Ritter got a clean game. We have fumbles from other guys, still put us in the mold. So no turnover for anybody this game. And our offense needs to help on defense, put more points and stop having the defense to save us every game. This is 100% true. This is something they know. This is a fact, man. Defense is not going to be able to deliver a game every week. We got to start playing complementary football. Simple as that. If we can't get in the red zone and score, we got to go for field goals, get points on the board. This is key. Those three turnovers we had in the red zone last week, that's 9 points. The game still be out of reach, right? Even if we don't score touchdowns, if we don't turn the ball over, the least we could have had was 9 points on the board. So great point, Anthony. Stop Henry. Yes, 100%. That would be their number one key. I can promise you that. I'm glad someone else is seeing the offense is nothing, complimenting the defense when they give opportunity. Exactly, they got to, man. This is complementary football is key. And that goes to special teams as well, right? Special teams need to make a big play, right? We don't gave up a big play already this year with the Commanders. Maybe they need to get some get back and make a big play themselves on special teams. So that would be great. Hope our linebackers show up to stop the run. I can promise you, man, you don't have to worry about those two guys. Both of those guys that play in linebacker now, Landman and Ellis plays downhill. They really do. That's why a guy like Michael Walker is not with the team anymore. That's why he's not here, because wasn't playing downhill, wasn't filling those gaps. That's why he's not here. Um, and that's why they Landman what they saw in Landman is what we seeing right now. Is a guy that, honestly, is what he showed in college. So it's not nothing he hadn't done before. He was injured, coming out of college. That's why he probably was undrafted. But I think Atlanta Falcons got to steal with him, and he's showing. He led the team in tackles last week. He's just a guy that know how to play the game. Or I mean, one of those kind of old school like linebackers, right? And a guy like Nate Lemon, so you gotta love it. Right. So, guys, those are my keys. I can't wait. I'm excited about this game. Can the Atlanta Falcons go on a 2-game winning streak? I think, you know, this week can be big for the Atlanta Falcons, especially looking at a guy like team like the Tampa Bay. They're going up against Buffalo, who got embarrassed by the New England Patriots. I think Buffalo gonna come out with some bad intentions this weekend. I mean, this tomorrow night and at home. So look out Baker Mayfield on that. Um, but the Aints are going up against the Colts, so it's a winnable game for them. But the way their offense been looking, and it's starting to get a little interesting in New Orleans with their quarterback, right? Because he's chirping at his guys, and I don't think they like the way he's playing as well. So it's a lot of back and forth going there. You can see it on the field. A lot of guys animated. You can see Jameis Winston starting to get antsy. So it's going to be interesting to see um, what New Orleans Saints going to look like moving forward as well, especially the way their offense is not being able to put points on the board. Even though they started to come around in that Jacksonville game, they really did, but once again, just not a well-oiled machine. And trying to tell everybody, Dennis Allen is not a good coach. He's not. That's why he was let go with the Raiders, man. He's not a good coach. It's just that simple. Dennis Allen this is what he is. Maybe a good defensive coordinator. The defense is still pretty good in New Orleans. I think they're like right behind the Atlanta Falcons for total yards, um, you know, per game this season. But um, other than that, um, he's not a motivator. He's not what Sean Payton was to the New Orleans Saints. Carr definitely is not what Drew Brees was. So, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm loving it. No, I don't like the Saints, so I don't care how much misery they have over there. We just need to keep worrying about the Falcons doing what we do. So, guys, that's all I have today. Thank all you guys for coming in, giving y'all insights. You guys are on it. Big things. No turnover this week. If I can come back on here Monday, Victory Monday, hopefully, and talk about how clean the game was from offensive standpoint, how solid the defense looked, going back home into the Mercedes-Benz Stadium because we go on a 2-game winning streak, man. I tell you this, we're going on a 2-game winning streak, and then coming back home for that Vikings game, the crowd is going to be pumped, right? The crowd's going to be pumped. So let's try to do this one game at a time. I believe it's going to be a physical game this weekend. So Atlanta Falcons definitely need to strap up their chin straps, get ready to go, and let's see what we can do. Kondo, you're going to Nashville game? No, I'm not. I won't be there for that when I be at home. Getting ready to get back on for my recap of the game. So that's what I'm be looking at. Hopefully I don't scream at the TV as much as I do when I'm at home, because I definitely be screaming at the TV there. Right. So that's all I have, guys. Thank you guys for coming in. Listen to your boy talk today. Enjoyed it. Let's get another win on the road. 2 wins. You know, we had one in so long on the road. We can do 2 in a row. That would be awesome. This is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.